Hey, I'm Blythe, a Blythe coach helping multi-passionate creatives take leaps of faith here at Tanschul Tanzraum in Nippes in Cologne, Germany. And I'm here to answer a couple of, well, basically one really frequently asked question or a concern that comes up for people who are starting a new dance style, even if we're experienced dancers or we've had some sort of change in our physical practice or our physicality itself. And that is, what do I wear on my feet? What do I wear? But especially, what do I wear as footwear, as dance shoes? So one question that comes up around this is, why do I so often wear socks? You'll see me wearing black dancy socks. They're actually not dancy socks, they're just socks. They're high cotton content, also at least 80–90%, the more the merrier content cotton socks. And this is something I adopted when I was in graduate school. I was doing ballet dancing as well as and teaching at the university and other colleges, studios, and schools, and also doing a lot of modern dance, contemporary dance. And you can do that barefoot, or I learned as I was picking up Blue-Green, which was this 15-minute or so long duet. While we were doing that dance, that more extended duet, it was very technical, to Francis Poulenc, trying to remember, Carl Waltz. Carl Waltz was the choreographer of Blue-Green. It was such a fantastic opportunity to restage that piece, and it's just a really beautifully crafted piece, I thought, too. But sorry, sort of gross, maybe too much information, but I got a plantar wart, unfortunately, on my foot during that practice. So although usually I have enough, not too much, but enough callus on my feet to dance barefoot as a modern dancer, I wanted to protect my feet from the floor and also protect the floor from my feet as that was healing. So I learned, and it's also just helpful if we're getting adjusted to a new dance floor or a new dance style, that I could adapt socks also for performance. So we dye, depending on the skin tone, of course. For me, black tea worked, but tea or coffee or something like that, you can actually dye a white sock an appropriate skin tone to where you really don't notice that it's not skin, but then have a thin layer of cotton to turn with. It's still very grippy on most dance floors. It can be washed every single time you wear it, which is a big advantage. That is one of the reasons why I still love to do this today, because I can every single time be putting on a clean dance shoe. And it's also very economical. But I do also love ballet shoes. I sometimes dance in jazz shoes if I'm going to do a point piece or work with point dancers. Sometimes I'll put on my old point shoes, and I would love to get a new pair and work on that sort of work again. So different kinds of shoes can be better suited, of course, to different dance forms. But coming back to my advice to new students coming in or coming back, of course, consult with your teacher first. But if you're dancing at home or just trying something out, before you invest in a specific technical shoe, make sure you're committed. Make sure you're coming regularly and that's worth it, because they usually are very expensive, and especially since dancers should insist on a proper fit, it's best to actually go into a dance shoe store at that point and be professionally fitted at least the first time, and then you can reorder whatever works for you or try something different the next time. But get some advice on the fit so that you're best supporting the health of your foot and the development of your dancing technique. And what I found for me as a teacher, especially since we are often on our feet for hours in the studio, sometimes dancing, sometimes not, which is sometimes also even more challenging for the feet and the ankles and the joints. For me, it's usually most comfortable to wear a sock. So I just buy plain high cotton content socks, and I have a bunch of them, and I wash them every week and have a new pair for every day. I like them to teach yoga, and unless it's too warm, I like them to teach ballet. I like them to practice, and it's just really comfortable. There's never any lumps and bumps. There's also no added padding. So that is one disadvantage, is with a proper ballet shoe, slipper, even point shoe these days, there's great technology of cushioning. So especially if you're going to be doing a lot of jumping, a really high performance, sort of more advanced usually ballet, a little bit of foam can go a long way to help cushion the landings of your jumps. Of course, your technique should do that too. But if you find that it's too hard and you're going along with your dancing and you'd like to upgrade, ballet shoes can be great. Some adults and teachers also do like a jazz shoe, an elasticized leather with just a slight heel. That little bit of lift and cushioning can also be, if it's well fitted, quite comfortable. Now that I'm sort of a new beginner, a new learner in a dance style, and that being Argentine Tango, I'm actually in a dance shoe identity crisis again. I found something that's comfortable for teaching and dancing for me in most contexts, unless I'm performing and I have a specific character role that I need the appropriate costume and shoe for. Love the socks, but for tango, of course, that's not suitable. It's a different kind of dance floor. They're slipperier. You actually want a little bit more structure and protection over the toe. Not that we're stepping on each other's feet, but it just, in that sort of style and context, either more of a heel or a structured shoe, I guess is what I'm looking for. So the search continues, but as far as basic parameters, consult with your teacher, studio. Start by wearing a comfortable sock and see if that works or what you have. And then invest once you've done research and consulted and tried things on and made sure that you have a perfect fit. Furthermore, when you're when you have younger people in your family, maybe it's your children who are wanting to start dancing, in that case, with growing feet, I always advise to get shoes that are quite a bit larger than they strictly need to be at this time. As long as they're not going flying off the feet, we can usually tighten them down with an adjustable elastic, and then the feet can grow into that. And then once our feet are fully grown, then of course we want to make sure that the shoe is perfectly fitted. But for ballet slippers, it is okay when they're growing so fast to go a bit larger so that they can wear them a little bit longer. Maybe not to the point of wearing out yet, but a little bit longer rather than every week or so needing new shoes. So for adults, that's not as much of a problem, an issue, but it is something to keep in mind. Also, if you're coming back to dance after an extended time, it could be that your feet have changed. The body does change over the course of our lifespans, and so we might find that the foot's dimensions have changed somewhat, and that's also something we want to be sure to address, to adapt to, and not force our feet into something uncomfortable because that's what worked for us earlier. So those are my current dance shoe blues. I don't actually have too many blues. I'm considering what sort of shoe style I want to invest in for my tango and ballroom type pursuits. And I'm pretty happy with my sock situation right now and my own dancing. And I do also love to experiment with different kinds of dancing shoes as I try out different styles and choreographies and roles. So it's a fun exploration. I hope it's something that you enjoy. I hope you got something helpful. And I'll look forward to seeing you again here as we move through life with balance, grace, and power.